Right, do you have the, thumbnail up?
Uh, the thumbnail was up on the for each video. It was loaded into the Rumble and you to be sent to YouTube and Rumble.
Gotcha. Alright. Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Friday, November the 7th, 2025 at approximately 3:02 PM. Thank you for joining Wrecked Sisters. We apologize for yesterday's, huh, whatever you wanna call it
Fiasco.
at this point. Fiasco is a good word. Yes, fiasco. Uh After I left, I wrote a rather stern message to the studio,
F
support
Mux.
staff of Mux that we purchased the studio from, and I've heard back from them today. And we Crazy Bee and I have a list of questions they want us to address, like, is your machine overheated? Do you perhaps have your camera on? I mean, some really weird stuff. But we'll answer them and hopefully get a response back next week. I did demand my money back, and so we shall see where that goes. So currently, we are sitting in the OBS studio, and well, let's just say
It's
my fingers,
working.
it is working. We tested it before we came in, but we also did that yesterday. Um, and so we
Let's.
shall
Oh,
see.
the chat's working.
Okay,
Hey,
cool.
you should be able to see it and what
I
we're going
can
to be
see it.
covering.
Yes, ma'am. And so,
And yay.
yay, 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 yay. So I'm still under the weather. It's freezing here, and that's all with me, Crazy Bee. What about you?
We are under rain, on and off thunder. I'm
It's raining
chilly.
too.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm don't Unfortunately, I have a relatively full house because my ex-husband got to leave work early. So he's over there with the little gripper grabber things that I use to pick up stuff I drop. And he's like
Mm-hmm.
poking them at my wrist and all this other stuff. So yeah, I'm going to have family here today. We're not too horrible. I can tolerate him. I can ignore him. He's an asswipe. Or he can go to the other room and watch a movie. Either way,
There you
but we're going to have fun. We're going to get through this and we're going to fingers crossed the weather doesn't fuck up.
exactly. That would be funny. But we both hear boom at the same time, and we just get blown out. There you
Or
go.
both are you lose a transformer and I lose a transformer and it's like, really?
Yep.
That's
That
the
is,
only thing that
but
can go wrong right now.
don't laugh. That has happened.
I
Do not
know.
laugh.
But
Happened.
hey, look how long it took for me to find out that I can actually take my edited videos, drop them into Google Chrome, and it will play them for me. I don't have to use a separate program.
It's lovely.
I'm just finding stuff out. And other people are going to be like, oh, I've known that all along since I was like 9. Well, good for you.
Uh-huh.
I'm old. I'm the tail end of Gen
Oh, okay, then
X.
I have a really good excuse then for anything that you come at me with.
I'm
That's
tail
funny.
end of Gen X, so I don't know all the little tricks to this stuff. I'm still learning it
Yep.
as I go. I thought I could drop the files into a website, like you know how you can drop a file in, and all of a
Right?
sudden 3 tabs opened. I thought I was creating a playlist in one website and just opened 3 tabs in another spot,
Yeah.
and I'm like, what?
Oh, here comes the rain.
Isn't that a song? Oh no, that's Here
Here
Comes the
comes.
Sun. Never mind, Beatles.
Well, there is a song called "Can You Hear the Rain?"
There is Can You Hear the Rain? And it's Raining Men.
Uh-huh.
That's another good one. And a
There's
couple.
"Rain Go Away."
Uh-huh. And then there's Singing in the Rain.
True.
Blame
Huh?
it on the rain. Thank you, Danny.
Yep.
We have a third
See, even with
co-host who just doesn't want to show himself.
yeah, there you go. All
Uh,
right then. What is today is Friggin' Friday, and it is I have since so deemed Friggin' Friday to be, unless there's my 2 cents that needs added in, which I doubt it's going to need to be, but it's going to be editor choice on what
Mm-hmm.
videos see, what articles are covered, and Crazy B, take it away.
So I basically just did a hodgepodge of what we didn't quite get to. I still think it's pertinent. D, I know you think these are pertinent because you sent them in the first place, and it's some stuff that
Oh,
even
right,
I have found.
right,
Like I try to put my I tried to add some references and stuff and some stuff to the lives, but I get so busy sometimes with either editing or just being fatigued and sleeping, and D ends up doing most of the research. But this is a little way for us to just hodgepodge it all together. So,
right.
um,
Well, one, it's work I don't want us to lose.
that too.
Even if it could, yeah, it could be outdated by a couple weeks, maybe a couple months, because other things took precedence.
Yep,
And we may know things more than what you're possibly going to see now, but it's still work that was done and accomplished. And I, for one, am not willing to throw it away. So,
I agree. And
the work done, and that's kind of how I feel about it. Chat. If you don't like it, well, you'll
sorry.
have to tune in. You'll have to tune in on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays then.
uh,
Sorry.
I think they'll be okay. I think they'll
Y-
enjoy what we have to say on stuff. I mean, other than the typical trolls that find it after the fact and want to be ass wipes, and we just ignore those people. They don't
Yes,
deserve attention.
right, and we must be doing something right because we finally have trolls. So go
Mm-hmm.
figure.
We did.
Yeah.
Actually, we had one video that had quite a few thumbs downs compared to ups, which means we hit the leftist community pretty good.
Yes. Yes.
I hate
And
to
then we
say it,
got
by the thumbs down, I can pretty much tell we're doing pretty good because
right,
the
right.
comments like, oh, cry some more and stuff. I mean, oh, yeah. Like, I'm really going to have to say anything to you. I think it's funny. They're probably bots, and they just didn't want us talking bad about Mom Donnie.
That's too bad
I think it's
because
funny.
we're going to continue to talk about him probably once or twice a week, I'd say.
We're going to talk about him until he's out of office.
Uh huh.
He's
Yes,
a
ma'am.
jackass. So,
Yes, ma'am.
and
Just
evidently
like
we are hitting our targeted crowd. We are very
right.
much hitting them.
Yep. Oh. All right. What do you got first there, ma'am?
All right. What I got first is
Oh,
you had
this one.
mentioned where's
I
Chip Roy?
Yes, I did. And lo and behold, boom, he pops up in my feed. So somebody's listening and sending the ethos over our way because Kip Roy is from Texas. So how he made his way all the way over to me yesterday, go figure.
Because
So
Google
this
heard
is
what you were asking.
exactly. So we can play this as everybody knows that's Steve Bannon, Trump's former aide who now has his own podcast. And he
Um,
basically is known. Go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say he's not as insane as Alex Jones in his way, but he still is a character in himself that does draw a lot of
Oh yeah.
followers. In
Yes,
case no one's ever met him or seen him.
right. He has a huge conspiracy type gig going, and there are times that my man looks wild. I mean,
Yeah,
he looks wild. Alex Jones is like the coiffed, you know. He looks like an egotistical maniac sometimes.
yeah.
And then that's
I know
Chip.
I people are always sometimes surprised by the conspiracies I believe, but I don't fall for every single one like some are known to
People,
do.
right. And then that's Chip Roy in your lower right-hand corner, congressman from Texas. He
Mm-hmm.
is a fiscal watchdog, and you can go and see him almost any day of the week on the House floor talking to nobody except
Yep.
the staff that have to be there and the president that's presiding in the chamber. Okay?
But I will. What
Because
I
of
like to
course,
consider him is the House's version of
Rand Paul.
Rand Paul. He's the
Mhm.
representative's balance of Senator Rand Paul. He is equally like against the stupid shit. Him and Rand
Right,
Paul, two peas in a pod, different branches, but yeah.
right. If you haven't watched either one of them, I'd say out of the two, Rand Paul is more on the milder side. It can get pretty wild at times,
And his
and
voice booms when he's mad.
yes, it does. I really wish that they had picked him to be speaker. I really wish they would have.
He didn't want it. I had seen
No,
an interview at some point. He did not want it. No, he did
right,
not.
because it's the politics behind it that he doesn't want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But he is the fiscal conservative watchdog. You again go out and watch him anytime, and the stuff that he will tell you, and so will Rand Paul, will just shock the living daylights out of you. You know,
Yes.
like what does how does a butterfly fly react on cocaine?
Or the quail
Oh,
breeding habits on
yeah.
cocaine.
What we need to know that cause why?
We don't. That's my point. We don't.
You
Why
know,
are we spending money on research into it?
correct.
Let the cartels pay for that research.
There you
Hey,
go.
Arby. We have an Arby
Hi,
in the
Arby.
chat.
Good to see you. He's out there on YouTube. That looks
Yeah.
cool being able to see that crazy bee.
He must be on breaker, have a little bit of a lag in the day.
Uh-huh. That's
But
cool.
it's great to see him.
Hopefully it's not raining where you're at, Arby. Crazy bee and
Ugh.
I are it's freezing here.
I'm
All
not
right, so
freezing. I'm in the 60s, but we still have that rain.
yeah, well, it's cold here. So Representative Royce said, if Republicans don't lead with vision and fight like they mean it, they'll keep getting slaughtered. Voters want fighters against Sharia law, Big Pharma, and the Marxist network tearing the country apart.
Oh, hold on before I hit play. Arby says he wants to know about the quails on coke, and and he just got home from taking Baxter to the vet. Hopefully, all went well. I'll you can always tell me about that later, but let's hit play.
The way to confront New York City is we got to hold Texas. I am very worried about Texas, sir.
Yeah, Steve, me too. Look, I don't know if you saw it, but on Friday, I introduced legislation to take away the C3 status, the tax-free status of CARE, and any other organization affiliated or tied to terrorism. Introduced legislation to start vetting individuals. We should stop admitting people who are adherent to Sharia law. We should deport people who are adherent to Sharia law. We've got to start getting serious about this. And this election, let's be very clear. This is a wake-up call that if you don't lead and lead with a clear vision and a clear direction, you're going to get absolutely slaughtered. That's what happened in Virginia. You're dead right. Instead of like going around and whining about, well, you know, the AG candidate said this or said that, and you know, oh, this was my story. Like, lead with something people can sink their teeth into. People are tired of not being able to afford housing. They're tired of not being able to afford groceries. The president is working on all of that. Secretary Besson is working on all of that, and it takes a couple of years to get his system fully firing. But we've got to have leadership that's going to say, we're going to take on the healthcare giants. We're going to go after the insurance companies. We're going to go after the big monopoly healthcare, hospital organizations. We're going to stand up and stop Sharia law. We're going to stop the radical Marxists who are trying to kill us. The vast network of people that are organized with Arabella, with Soros, with Gates, with the United Nations, with all of the international conglomerates that are funding these NGOs that are all being used to attack us, whether it's the Southern Poverty Law Center and Antifa, whether it's the 250 organizations that were shoving people into our country during Biden and Mayorkas, whether it's the district attorneys that are funded by the Soros regime and the Wren Collective, and all of these things are organized and coordinated. And Steve, you know it, and I know it, but Republicans are sitting around making nice and giving speeches on the steps of the Capitol instead of rip roaring coming through behind the president to save this country. We've got to start being aggressive, and we've got to do something about it. I'm going to do it as a Texas Attorney General, but I've got a year left in Congress, and I'm going to keep introducing legislation to force Republicans to actually do the hard work of changing the direction of the country. And look, I think we got to be thinking through all of our options right now to make sure we do not waste the remaining 3 years and change of President Trump's administration.
I like him, and I'm glad. Go ahead, Dee.
He's only got a year left.
He's choosing to step down from Congress instead of running again to become Attorney General of Texas.
Wow.
Yes, he is choosing to not be a lifelong politician. Even though we desperately need people like him. And hi, Cannabis. Good to see you.
Hi, Cannabis.
We need more people like him in Congress, but we don't need lifelong politicians. I think he's been in for 3 or 4 terms. No, yes. 2 or 3 terms. I apologize.
He is one of the good guys, I would say. Of everything that I've seen, there's been no scandals attached to him. And for them to lose the vast wealth of knowledge that he has, I hope he passes the mantle on to somebody that's halfway decent. Hopefully, like somebody on the order of a Byron Donald, maybe a Marjorie Taylor Greene. You know, somebody that we need somebody that is up there that got there's that other African American Wesley. I can't think of his last Wesley. He was a West Point graduate. I can see him, but I can't think of his last name. Somebody that has the guts, the gumption, and the balls to do for a woman whatever pieces of packaging she carries, because we don't know today. But you get my gist. We need somebody that has that fire and that spark underneath them, not this wishy-washy, oh, well, we don't need another Mike Johnson.
Yeah.
We don't need, we don't need that.
And Vanilla Pie jumped in. So I want to say hi to Vanilla Pie.
How you doing?
We got to get more sane people who are willing to not be lifelong politicians, not be corrupt, and actually work for us. Because we have way too few.
Right. And the too few can't get much accomplished without the rest of them. So you can put forth any kind of bill you want, but unless you have the support, just like Rick Scott has now introduced twice to have the government workers paid, and the Dems said no.
Yep, they keep saying no.
Right.
The Democrats are the ones who are holding all this up. The Democrats are why food stamps isn't getting put through. The Democrats are why everything is going to hell in a handbasket at this moment. They won't agree to what the Republicans have said. And there's even been Democrats who've literally said, screw this, we're done. And they started wanting to vote with the Republicans, but the Democrats won't even come for a vote. So it's a no-win. They are screwing the American people over.
Right. So it was
bullshit.
I'm glad that he popped up on scene and could be heard. But it still goes back to the piece that I don't like about what he had to say was the issues with regard to illegal immigration, with regard to the economy, that, this is going to take time. That needs to be addressed because those 2 items, 60% of the American people in polling are saying that they're disgusted with Trump and the Republican Party on those 2 issues.
Yep.
One has to do with ICE and the way that they are taking people out or down. And 2, the economy. 1, with the tariffs being added on, the pressure is on. So the Supreme Court also took up hearing the tariffs, and it did not go well. Right as of right now, Trump is not in good standing on that. We're going to be very curious to see how that case plays out. And our girl, Ketanji Jackson Brown, ooh, what a dumbass.
She's a piece of work. I can't
You would have
stand
to go,
her.
you would have to go and listen to her when Trump's attorney is they're trying to question him. This was never done before. Trump is the first person to ever have done it. She's like, and he's like, no, exactly, that's not the case. And she's like, well, when was that? And he's like, under Nixon in 1971. And she goes, Lincoln never did that.
He never said Lincoln. He said Nixon.
Exactly.
And Lincoln tariffed the fuck out of the South. Don't even.
I know.
And they tariffed their own states.
Yeah, and it goes to show you how stupid people are. So they were extremely contentious against Trump, and to me, that's an embarrassment in of itself that they don't have the control. They lack the self-control in order to hear the case versus be reactionary to it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where all of this is going to go, but we'll wait and see. But again, they're failing to do all of the messaging that needs to be done. So I'm going to go back to doing what I used to do back when Trump first ran. And every day, everybody and their mother's going to get hit with the list. You know, my soapbox list, I have a list for the Republicans. It just needs updated.
Well, the one thing I will say about like all of this is when Congress is busy fighting against things that will help America, we have a problem. It's Congress and different state judges that are filing these lawsuits, not anyone on the Republican side. Did we see the Republicans do mass lawsuits against everything Biden put forth?
No. And this is where I'm saying they're stupid.
We have a JJR who just jumped in.
Hey, JJR, I wonder who that is. Never heard of him. You know, it's funny because that's one thing that I will say the left does is their messaging is always point on. They take advantage of anything and everything that could possibly happen. You know, you sidestep wrong, and man, there's something to be sidestepping. And you know, is that Michelle Obama that said that? When they go low, we go higher? Or who wanted the... Okay, well now, Sonny Hostin on national TV says, when they go low, we go even lower.
That's not exactly something to be proud of.
No, it's not. So
it's actually kind of a bad thing. I wouldn't do that.
So if the Republicans want to win the 26 midterms, they better get up off their asses now and start to get to work.
Yep.
Now, mind you, they've done nothing all year.
Yeah, so far nothing's actually been put through properly.
Correct.
I don't think anything. And all of Trump's executive orders are still sitting there.
Why aren't they all codified?
I don't know. The Republicans have it.
Yeah, why? I don't that they have the House, they have the Senate. Why? So this leads on, and we'll get into this further. And we've talked about this. Is it a conspiracy theory, or do they all really work just hand in hand, and it's one big uniparty? You know, you give me something, I'll give you something. You get this next time, I'll give you that next time. And the permanent employees, you know, the ones that are there year after year, they're just like, oh, it was Biden. Oh, it was Trump. Oh, it was, you know, whoever. And they just go with the flow and either try to sabotage or not sabotage or just keep their head down and collect a paycheck.
Uh-huh. That's all our politicians ever do. That's how Mom
Right.
Donnie got to be mayor. He did nothing.
Uh-huh.
It's how Kamala
Wow.
Harris got to be VP, doing nothing.
Uh-huh. Well, that's not necessarily true. He did do something,
Oh,
but
Vanilla Pie says at least we passed the big beautiful bill.
mm, yeah, I guess so.
And Arby, that's what this first video was. Oh, well, yeah, you watched the Chip Roy video. He's said this has got to stop. We got to get these people focused and doing what's right.
Right. He's right. Arby says, and the Republicans just can't whine about trans stuff and hope that that will work. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
How long have we been hearing about, oh, we're going to take down Big Pharma?
Oh, forever.
We've been hearing crap. Yeah. Oh, we're going to lower drug prices. Oh, the worst thing ever in the world to happen was the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare.
Uh-huh.
That's why insurance rates have skyrocketed. That's one of them. The second is the illegals. And I'll tell you what, if the Republican Party caves, what day are we on by any chance? Do you know, Crazy B? We're in the 30s still, aren't we? Of the
Um.
shutdown?
Oh no, I think we're in the 60s.
No. Really?
Shutdown. Wait, no, the shutdown was October 1st, right?
Yeah, I
So
think.
October 1st to November 7th, that's. Hold on, let me pull up a calendar. Hold on. October 1st, so that's 31 plus, so that's 31, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 38 days, it looks like,
Oh, man.
if they shut down October 1st.
Yeah, we still got
We've
another
got
30.
till this December,
Yeah,
end of December.
yeah, we got till then. And I don't know if they'll hold the line because of the holidays. So if they don't,
Well, some of the Democrats are already wanting to swap because of
like,
the holidays and stuff coming up. Yeah.
right.
Swap what?
Well, hopefully we see some crossover. But I do want to take a look at what Rand Paul and Chip Roy has to say about this year's budget and see if there's any stupid stuff in there that they're trying to pass for funding, like the butterflies on cocaine and can they fly afterwards or did they fly better on or off of it? And I might pull my hair out because
Well, it might be
if
something new. It might be chimpanzees on cocaine this time.
this is true. Because really, if it's coming down to this kind of crap, it's got to stop. Or there has to be a detailed explanation of why it would be important to know that to the American people. One of the biggest things that disturbed me about some of that type of funding was remember Fauci and what he did with the beagles,
Yeah.
and they ripped out the beagles' voice boxes so they wouldn't hear them crying or whimpering.
Well, they surgically
That
removed them. It's still not right.
Yeah, well, it's ripped out to me. I don't care surgery or not. They were ripped out. And I wouldn't be surprised if Fauci didn't even use anesthesia. So,
I don't
'cause he's
know. He's
yeah,
just a douchebag, and
I know.
not including the. Oh no, never mind. This will get me in trouble. I can't say
Yeah,
it.
we better. I apologize for bringing up his name.
No, it's just another study he did that they claim he really wasn't behind it, but his name's been on the paperwork. I've seen it. It's a long story. Just we can
Yeah,
talk
we'll
about
talk.
that on a different time,
Okay.
like on a YouTube only or something, and drop the
Yeah,
video to on Discord or something for later.
there you go.
But oh
Right.
my god, yeah, it's yeah. There's a lot about Fauci that I don't like about his ethics. He's a retard. His ethics were atrocious.
Yeah, Vanilla, you said I agree with you, Vanilla. I don't know. I'm scared that the Dems will learn that promising to actually work for the American people will make them win. Because God knows Republicans aren't going to do that without who saying so, without
Mm-hmm.
you says so. The other thing I'd say out of the race is so Trump didn't back Sliwa, which I could kind of understand, but
Yeah.
I don't understand why he didn't support Winsome Sears.
I don't know why he wouldn't support anyone other than Comey.
Exactly.
I mean, if the
Right.
Republican Party had actually put forth the effort and put the money into a good New York candidate,
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't be in this circumstance.
Right.
But no, they always fuck up on the local elections.
Mm-hmm.
They always screw up on the local elections. They only worry about the federal ones. That pisses me off, to be quite honest.
Not sure.
Well, the Republican Party's fucked up.
Oh, we've known that. Most of them, so.
Oh, that is so true. All right. Next on our list is good old California.
Mm. You would do that to me while I'm eating peanut butter.
Well, at least
That's okay. That's fine.
if you want. Or we could jump to
Oh
the
no,
video and then go back to the articles.
I'm gonna attempt this. 'Cause
This
this
will be
should be
fun. This will be fun.
Hold on. Let me take a sip of drink of Coke. I'm drinking Coke and eating peanut butter. Here we go. Okay, we'll see if my voice can get any worse.
Luckily, it's just a summary.
Uh-huh. Okay, so as we know, California approved Prop 50, which, in case anybody doesn't remember, that is the redistricting of lines. Previously, the legislature drew the lines, and then they had a vote on whether this commission would do the redistricting, which they did. And the plans and everything were submitted. But guess who didn't like that? Because Trump said, Republicans, go out, go forth, and multiply your redistricting in your areas. So Newsom pitched a bitch and said, we're putting this on the ballot. So California voters approved Proposition 50, allowing the state to now redraw congressional districts with 63.8% in favor and 36.2% against this measure. Republicans, go figure, filed a lawsuit claiming the redistricting is unconstitutional and violates the 14th and 15th Amendments. Governor Gavin Newsom's approval ratings remain high at 55%, yet 54% of voters oppose his presidential aspirations. The new district lines are projected to add at least 5 Democrat seats in the U.S. House of Representatives in future elections. Right now, there's a total of 9 Republicans in the entire state of California, and
How
they're
is that
going to lose.
fair?
They're going to lose 5 seats. That's going to leave 4. That means that California is effectively a entirely blue state. Republicans are effectively shut out. How? How does this how?
Corruption.
How can that be possibly constitutional? So see,
Well, the
this
Constitution wasn't written to have 2 parties or 3
right,
or 4.
right. But what happens when you have a party that completely takes over? Whether it's
I
the Dems, whether it's the Islamics, whether it's whomever, right? So
yeah.
this kind of goes back to what I'm saying, where I'm starting this conspiracy theory. I have not heard this anywhere. You're hearing it from me. So we get flooded with all of these illegal aliens. So we know between 12 at minimum, 12 plus illegals came in. We have no idea how many gotaways. Estimates are as high as 30 million illegals currently live in the United States today. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know why Abbott decided to start to send, and I do know the answer to that, but why did Abbott decide to send illegals throughout the country? Why did they go to New York? Why did they go to
Because New
Chicago?
York
Why?
claimed to be a sanctuary city. He sent them to
Right?
sanctuary cities and states.
Okay. All right. Keep following the logic now. So all these illegals are now dispersed throughout the country.
Mm-hmm.
California's a wreck. Illinois is a wreck. New York State is a wreck. What happened to those people? Where'd they go? They couldn't take it
Mm-hmm.
anymore, so where did those people move to?
They
They went
moved
to
out.
Texas. Yeah, they went to Texas. They went to Florida. They went to Kentucky. They went to Louisiana. They went to
Parts of Georgia
Arkansas.
saw an influx.
Yes, Georgia. So they have illegals living in these blue sanctuary cities and states collecting these benefits. They move out these anywhere, millionaires, billionaires, plus whatever average American citizen could get out. They move to
Mm-hmm.
these red states, but they go into a red state, but they're not changing their mind as to what their policies and that are.
And that's why Abbott said that he's going to start tariffing people who are fleeing after vote, like the ones who voted for the jackass. When shit hits the fan and they try to start fleeing in a year or two, he's like, "Oh hell no!" The ones who are leaving now, who are
It,
smart, that didn't vote for him, that's a different story. But the idiots that vote for him, they're going to be tariffed to move into Texas, is what he was saying.
well, it's combine that with the Muslim community takeovers in certain cities, and I something big seems at play here.
Uh huh.
Something seems like I just feel like now, like I there were times I really didn't care for Abbott, and then I was like, "You go!" Like when he sent them to Martha's Vineyard, I thought that was a sweet trick. But now I'm like, "Huh." I've always heard that Abbott kind of played on the wrong side of the fence, and was this all part of some type of elaborate plan?
I believe it was. I have to think it was.
Because they could have been contained either in Texas, either across the border,
Texas was
or
running
in
out of supplies and stuff to take care of these people.
right, but they didn't have to move them over to New York. They could have sent them to California. To all the people that left California, they had they lost what, 1,000,000 or 1.5 million people left California to go to Texas and Florida and other states. So why didn't they move them up into California? Or why
They
didn't they
were
send
fleeing
them
to
to
California, right? Because California is a border state. It was already getting an influx. But
okay,
the northern states that were voting for allowing these illegals in and stuff, he wanted to teach them a lesson of what it's like to have to care for them and
right?
support them and feed them and house them until they can be deported again.
Yeah, and the problem is they're getting what, couple thousand a day they said to get deported. That'll take forever to get all that many
Mm-hmm.
people out.
Because
But
it's easy to illegally come in, and that,
right,
but legally to remove them is complicated. It
right.
shouldn't be.
But what I'm suggesting here that has now happened is so blue stays blue with the voting bloc, and the blues that fled the state go to a red state and they're carrying over their blue beliefs, and they're possibly, Chip Roy says, and Steve
Mm-hmm.
Bannon, they are worried that Texas is going to flip blue
A lot
because
of places are having this
yeah,
problem.
right, Dems that came from California, Pennsylvania, New York, Illinois, Michigan, whatever, that went to Texas, they're not changing their vote. They're not changing their strategy. They're like, nope, I'm still with them.
Uh-huh.
I mean, in Texas, they had planned on building that Muslim city where there would
Mm-hmm.
be no policing whatsoever. They were going to be their own little enclave of Muslim community. They would
Yeah.
have their own.
A
Remember,
commune,
like Disney?
basically.
Yeah, remember the bull crap we went through with Disney and
Mm-hmm.
Disney got, and we find out what Disney was actually doing? That's what they wanted to be, was their own Disney.
It don't work like that with me.
No. And Abbott stopped it from happening, from them building their own city, but it's was sent for a lawsuit. But that doesn't mean that that community still hasn't stopped doing what it's doing. So we
Of
still don't know
course.
what's really going on there. And fortunately, up in Michigan, the Muslim that was running, that planned on changing a lot of things, uh, legal wise, he did not get in, so that was a positive.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There just seems like, I had mentioned before, I thought that we were perhaps going to have another 9/11, and then I was like, no, that can't happen again. Perhaps
Well,
we're going to have,
that's what we didn't get
it's
to
not
is that Halloween plot that was going to happen in Dearborn. The
oh, that's
terrorists that
right,
were planning that, we
right?
haven't even gotten to that, and I can't remember where that link is. I
Yeah.
don't think I even carried it over. I'll have to look and
Well,
see if I find it. But
do it.
yeah,
We can do that next week or whatever, whenever you find it.
especially now that
Um,
there's more news about it.
right. And then we thought, well, would things happen here? Like, could they possibly do something in, say Texas and then hit, Kentucky and somewhere else all at the same time and create chaos in the country? No,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's underlying. I think what we're seeing now is this is how the Democratic Party is going to try to take over the entire country. I really think that's what's at play here.
Well, and like I've said, it's kind of historically proven we're going to become a communist state at some point. It's just we're trying to hold it off as long as possible.
Right. Well, hence my let's pick a state and all Republicans go there and just leave us alone.
I
You know,
absolutely agree to that. Let's do a North and South Korea thing. Democrats get their half of the country, we get the other half.
right. And like I said, I'm down for North and South or East and West, but since we had a North and a South already, let's go East and West.
Mm,
What do you think?
Arby's got a point. The
What's that?
elites in both parties are out of touch.
Mm-hmm.
What works for them does not work for us,
No, it doesn't.
and they don't realize it.
Mm.
It's stupid, in my opinion. We have a bunch of idiots that don't know what it's like to be a lower end of the scale person.
They've been That's because there has been so many of them at it for so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with Mandami winning, it just wasn't about him and his communist Marxist beliefs that won, but he took on the establishment Democrats. Chuck Schumer never gave him his endorsement ever.
Yeah.
Hakeem Jeffries only gave it on Saturday, and it was like somebody was twisting his arm behind his back.
Mm-hmm.
So Mandami, AOC and the squad, even Bernie Sanders are the face of the new Democratic
Bernie
Party.
Sanders just wants to be relevant and make money.
Uh-huh. But he's hanging with them.
Well, yeah. He's a communist. He has to hang on the coattails of the most famous thing so he can get a little bit of money from it. Because he ain't going to actually work.
So what do you think? Do you think that AOC will win against Chuck Schumer for senator?
I believe so.
So do I.
Because she's dumb enough, and the voters are even dumber.
Yeah.
Vanilla, you are spot on. Both parties have been neglecting the American people for so long.
Yes. Yes, they have.
That
And
is
I
an
keep
understatement.
Yeah, and I keep saying these people, this is the best they had to offer was Mandami, Sliwa, and Cuomo. Out of the millions of people who live in New York, that's the best they had to offer.
A disgraced former governor of the same city, or mayor.
Right.
I'm sorry, disgraced mayor of the city. An
Right.
idiot who's done nothing ever. Well, he had how many years in the state assembly?
Right.
And Sliwa, who was a radio host.
Yeah.
Radio show host.
Yeah, Cuomo was the governor. You were right.
Oh, he was the governor?
Time. Yeah, he was the governor.
Oh, okay. I thought it was the mayor. Sorry.
No, the governor. Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's truly a bit embarrassing.
No wonder why our country is laughed at so much. And it's not because of Trump. It's because of our other politicians being idiots.
Well, you and I talked about that earlier about where Trump's receiving all this blame. This stuff isn't in his hands. He has no control over it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How much time does it take to break a glass window? A split second. How long does it take to replace it? Great example. Everyone made this country a mess. He's trying to get it back on track. The problem is, it takes time.
And the American people don't want to wait. It's instant gratification. It's, okay. Where you have Kamala saying, Trump said he will lower prices on his second day in office. And we're 8 months, 9 months in, 10 months now.
Well, he did work on it. He started adding tariffs and stuff, and that will help lower the prices in the long run.
Right. But
he did do it on day 2. It's just it didn't make a change until decade 1.
And that's the stuff that the Republican Party does not hammer home. We don't want to hear the bullshit. People don't have time to hear the behind the scenes. Mike Johnson, get up there. We want the facts. You know what I mean? Get down bullet point. Have some pictures for show and tell. Show us. Let us see it. Let us hear it. Move on. You know that everybody take a turn at the podium and say 2 sentences. Oh, Chip, let me.
Well, it's it's the TikTok mentality. Everyone's stuck on shorts. Nobody wants to stick around for anything longer than a few seconds.
And that's absolutely correct.
That's why society has become a problem.
All right, Crazy B, what you got up next, girl?
Steve Turley.
Okay.
Talking about some of the voters already having regrets.
Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you make sense of the madness as the far left desperately tries to stop the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age all over the world. So if you want a front row seat on how you are changing the world in ways you never even imagined, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Newly elected mayor of New York City, Zohran Mamdani, is already disappointing Democrats, and it didn't take long. Mamdani had barely just finished his victory speech. It was infested with all kinds of Marxist references and vitriol when Van Jones, one of the most prominent Democrat commentators on CNN, said this.
But I think he missed an opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. And I think that Mamdani is the one you need to hear from tonight. There are a lot of people trying to figure out, can I get on this train with him or not? Is he going to include me? Is he going to be more of a class warrior, even in office? I think he missed a chance tonight to open up and bring more people into the tent. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like there's a little bit of a character switch here where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight. And there was some other voice on stage.
You know why? Because you can only hold a facade for so long. He was lying to get elected, and now he's not that warm, caring, compassionate politician.
He couldn't even wait a day.
Nope. Why would that happen? I mean,
Because guess what? Guess what, people? It's on. Remember, we showed you yesterday. You guys don't get to do a recall. You don't get to impeach him. Only Kathy Hochul and the secret, well, not secret, but the commission that would be established gets to do that. And if you think
and that
that's gonna
commission is all appointed by the mayor.
correct. And that's not going to happen. So now what you're seeing is his true colors.
Uh-huh.
So
Good luck.
we got like a little mini Joe Biden. Nice in the beginning, you know. Well, I never liked him, but you know, trying to be the smooth talker in the beginning, and then he gets in, and then the next thing you know, we have the true red light Nazi theme, and you know, kick out half the country and all of that.
Yep.
Yep.
It wasn't going to take long for his true colors to show.
Right.
So.
And Van Jones here, he used to work for Obama, so
yes.
For him to come out and Obama endorsed Mamdani, saying he ran a great race. So for Van Jones, who usually sticks up for the Dems like crazy, for him to come out and say this, I think is significant.
It is. It's very much so. And again, we've been seeing a little bit more of the Dems saying, whoa, wait, what happened? We're starting to see them gradually waking up and realizing that they got to be more neutral. They cannot be just blindly repeating what others have said.
Right.
But sadly, it's too little too late. But let's hear what else. Yeah, they're stuck for sure. And I guess there is a shit ton more because he's already asking for help financially from his constituents.
There you go.
But let's see what else is in this.
On stage.
Yeah, Van, that's how it works. That is precisely how socialism works. They start by offering you candy and they end up sticking a gun to your head. That's how it works literally every single time it's historically tried. My former classical guitar teacher, he was from Cuba. He lived during the Cuban Revolution, and he described it fascinating. He remembers as a kid when Castro overthrew their government, and all of his troops drove into the village and offered all the children candy, and the kids absolutely loved them, and everyone was so excited. They were all told they were being liberated from oppression, like they were all free finally. And then he said just literally a few days later, everything started to change. Suddenly things started getting very, very bleak, very, very oppressive, and very frightening. Neighbors were being arrested and carted off in the middle of the night, never to be seen again. This is how it works. And that's why more and more New Yorkers have already decided they ain't sticking around. Wagamama USA, the Asian fusion restaurant chain, has just announced they gone. They're out of there. They are relocating their corporate headquarters from New York City to none other than Tampa, Florida. Again, this is the very pattern that we've been seeing, particularly in Chicago, where business headquarters have been picking up and moving, and corporate chains are actually just closing down their locations in the city. Once again, this is the pattern. Capitalist institutions are not going to stick around and have some socialist sycophant abuse them as he sees fit. And look at this. Fox Business is reporting that Miami and South Florida realtors are already estimating $100 million real estate boom in their state. It gets better and better for red states, all coming from, you guessed it, New York City. In fact, this is one of the...
I don't mind the businesses. I don't want the voters. If that makes any sense.
I didn't hear a word you said, Crazy Bee.
Oh, I said I don't mind the businesses moving to my states if it was the case, but I sure as hell don't want the voters.
There you go. I wouldn't disagree with that statement.
Oh my Lord, like, can we not bring the Democrat voters, but definitely bring us the businesses? Pretty
Right.
please. I will gladly take that. Sorry, I got to refill my nicotine. I was in the middle of it. I thought, but okay, let's hit play and see a little bit more on this. I'm sure I'll pause it again as soon as something comes up, or if you hear anything that you want paused on.
Well, yes,
the reasons why New York Governor Kathy Hochul is already signaling she ain't going to be participating in any way in Mamdani's Marxist Manhattan makeover, because she doesn't want a mass exodus from the state. But she's already trying to contain the damage. Damage that's already been done due to years of failed Democrat policies imposed on New Yorkers, particularly by her. I mean, the numbers are pretty staggering. Over 125,000 New Yorkers have already moved to Florida in recent years, bringing nearly $14 billion in adjusted gross income with them. Mamdani's proposed 2% tax on incomes exceeding $1 million would push New York's total tax burden to an astonishing 54%, which is already triggering a mass exodus of some New York's top income earners and an estimated
loss. Let me just double check that again.
It was 54% of your tax.
State.
For the state, yeah.
That's not federal.
Nope. I think it's just the city and state. Yeah.
Is 54% of your pay?
54% of the pay, yeah.
And
taxes.
So the government runs anywhere from 25% on up.
You have no money after your tax. That's why everything's free. You have no money of your own to spend.
New York, you suck.
Wake up, folks.
Wow. Well, they're going to learn. I mean, how are you going to afford your groceries now? How are you
government run grocery stores.
Yeah, but that's not free. He already said that. It's at a lower cost.
But they'll all be on food stamps.
Okay. What about well, I guess they won't be working, so they could raise their own children.
No, they're still probably going to have to work because somebody's got to pay those taxes. That'll just be more or less slave labor.
I could not imagine. Wow.
Could you imagine working for $30 an hour and then 54% of it getting taxed? Then you got your federal tax of 20-something% tax coming out. And you'll no matter what, $30 an hour, you're going to be stuck on food stamps.
So you're looking at approximately 70%. Is that correct? At least?
Yep.
So that
good
means
luck.
So like you get 30 cents on a dollar?
Yeah. Yeah.
That doesn't even get you gas money or
That's the free busing part. I know. You and I are looking at it the same way.
talk about why didn't somebody simplify it on a drawing? Now I sound like a whiner. Oh, my head hurts again.
Yeah, no wonder we're gonna tax the top businesses. What do you think the fuck they're gonna do? We're gonna tax the top businesses 54% of their earnings. Bye. Who the fuck's staying around
Yeah,
for
like-
that? I'm out. Bye, bitch. Was that bye Felicia thing that people
Yeah,
used to do?
yeah. Wow.
I'm
This
telling
is
you,
absurd.
I'd be gone in a heartbeat if someone did that to me.
Wow.
Mhm.
Absolutely freaking unacceptable.
Oh yeah, and it gets worse though. I'm sure it's going to get worse.
I know.
But they're estimated to be at a loss of 5 to 10 billion when these businesses go.
Right. And remember now, I'm on Crazy B's gravy train. You
Mhm.
voted him in. Get what you deserve.
Suffer, bitches, suffer. Sorry, that wasn't nice. I don't care. You know what? It's like the people of. I just saw a video of the
We
people
both
of
know-
Mexico again.
Yeah. We both know we're going to hell anyway, so we're just saying whatever at this
I have
point.
empathy for those who don't know, don't have an option, did vote the
Right.
right way and are stuck there. I have empathy for those people, not the jackasses who bought this BS hook, line, and sinker.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, y'all are on your own. You ain't getting a donation from me.
And I'm now thinking that unless you're born here, you shouldn't be allowed to run for office.
Uh-huh.
Or
You've had to have been here at least 20 years.
yeah, some type of other criteria has to be in there. Like those judges that we reviewed that have that dual citizenship.
Yeah.
You want to be a judge, get rid of your other citizenship. You want to keep it, get out. You can have dual citizenship, you just can't be a federal judge. Right?
Lower local
I mean-
judge, fine. Federal and above, nope.
Yeah.
Sorry. And I
Or
don't
when-
think I really want them running for politics either, because, again, we're looking at split loyalty.
Correct. When you hear Ilhan Omar at a meeting chanting in Somalian,
We showed that
That-
really good.
that her loyalty lies to Somalia, not the
She
United
has
States.
no.
Somalia.
Well, and like Mom Downey's mom even said, he's not an American.
And he did not thank Americans for voting for him.
No, why would he?
So you Americans that did vote for him, you're suckers.
Idiots.
I have a bridge to sell you.
They're idiots. I can't stress it enough. And I'm talking the IQ level definition of idiot from the 1900s. It's bad. It's pathetic.
I almost spit out my Coke because a vision just came to me. Remember when Hillary said we needed to be reprogrammed?
Yep.
Well, when you said that about the 1900s, I just thought of the what was that called? The electric current that they put on your head.
The shock therapy.
Thank you. Shock therapy or a lobotomy. That's where I'm at.
You know what's funny is I just sent a video on my Discord server about the history of lobotomies and how they got started and how they don't actually work and for the mental
Right.
health issues. It's funny that you mentioned that. And by the way, if you guys want it, there's a YouTube channel called Dantavius. He is funny and he did a really good job on the history of lobotomies. But yeah, I don't think lobotomies would fix our voting base.
Yeah,
Like Arby
It might.
said,
It might.
Well,
Only
Arby
'cause they
says
didn't know. Okay.
that on top of the elites, he says we still have a bunch of generations of people raised to believe in Marxism. They're from the universal suffrage, the tarred populace with universal suffrage. They aren't focused on the next generation. Just slap fight. Hold on. I just lost my place. We are still just slap fighting for momentary feelings of being better than others. I don't know. I'm moving to Antarctica. At least the penguins and polar bears won't be so dumb. Polar bears don't live in Antarctica. They live in the Arctic. Only penguins live in Antarctica, along with some seals and whales, where the smart animals are. Yeah.
He corrected himself and said, or the Arctic.
Yeah, I was going to say the Antarctic. Yeah, the bears are only in the Arctic. The rest are in the Antarctic. But yeah. Me and my stupid my encyclopedic.
Yeah, go to Antarctica there, Arby. Then that way you won't have to get eaten by a polar bear.
Except you can't go to Antarctica unless like 20 nations agree to let you go there.
Correct.
You're better off going north. Canada doesn't care about people who. Yeah, I saw. Canada doesn't really care about people crossing the border illegally and doing retarded shit. So just sneak through the woods, get around the Mounties, head further north. Make sure you bring some really good cold gear.
Mm-hmm.
People only learn the hard way. Exactly. That is an understatement. And that's why I said, historically speaking, this is just a stage we need to go through.
Right.
All right, before we take too much longer, I'm going to shut up. We're only 5 minutes into an 11-minute video.
Okay.
Loss of $5 to $10 billion in tax revenue. And it's not just businesses or taxpayers. City officials are already resigning. Within just hours after Mamdani was declared the winner, New York Fire Commissioner Robert Tucker handed in his resignation. He gave no specific reason, but given that it happened within hours of Mamdani being elected, it's pretty clear that the resignation itself is the message. But if you could believe it, it actually gets worse. Wait
Hold
until
on
you
one
see the
second
very
on that,
first
Crazy
act.
B.
What?
Is that fire commissioner happened to be Jewish. So he was not gonna, with the rhetoric that Mamdani had been spewing, he didn't find that acceptable.
I had heard something about it, but I don't know the full story.
Yeah, I'll see if I can get it to you. And if you guys are interested, go ahead and Google it.
Yep.
We try to provide as much information for you, but sometimes you got to do a little. What is
A
that?
little bit too. Just like we do.
No,
We do the best we can.
Yeah, what is that? It's back in the day when detectives and stuff, not shoe digging. What the heck was that
Gumshoes?
called? No, they had to do something to go dig. It'll come to me. It's an old reference. Anyway, go ahead.
Alrighty. Come on, mouse. Work. There we go.
Mamdani has just done as mayor-elect. If this doesn't tell you everything you need to know, nothing will. True to form, Mamdani is already holding his hand out and soliciting for more donations from the very people who support him, despite his campaign promises to overwhelm those supporters with all kinds of free stuff. Like bus service, rent freezes, and the like. The irony is beyond palpable. I mean, think about it. After winning on the promise of providing for ordinary New Yorkers, the first thing Mamdani does is turn around and ask those same supporters to pay for his transition team. The guy who ran around New York City promising free stuff is already asking for money from the very people he promised all that free stuff to. You can't make this stuff. I mean, so immediately, already out of the gate, we can already see how all this free stuff ain't so free. In fact, there's no such thing as free. Think of it as like the F word. Free simply means someone else is paying for it. And they all happen to be leaving New York. Now, the irony here is that the first people who are
Oh,
paying for Mamdani's government are the very people he promised wouldn't have to pay a dime. And of course, this was all completely predictable. Anyone could see it a mile away. Here's Piers Morgan last night on the Greg Gutfeld show.
I mean, this is going to be an absolutely priceless thing to watch because Mamdani has never run a Welk stool.
Yeah.
People Welk stools, Kelly deals, that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
He's never run anything.
Yeah.
He's in his 30s. He's got zero experience. But what he's brilliant, he's a brilliant politician.
Mhm.
He's a brilliant promiser of great things to come. He's the promised land in many ways. The problem is he will not be able to deliver on any of these promises. Socialism does not work.
Mhm.
It never works anywhere. It's never going to work anywhere. And so he's going to start letting down people very quickly.
And as we can see, it's already happening. He's already beginning to walk back on a number of tens of millions of promises that he made on how his socialist government was going to come in and solve every single problem on the planet. Now, for us,
and that makes me think he knew it wasn't going to work. He knew he couldn't do it, but he lied just to get the votes.
Correct. And why? But why? And it's
To get the
take
votes
down.
for the better paycheck.
Well, I don't think it was so much the better paycheck as it is to take down New York and America.
But if
If
he's
he
not going to be able to
truly,
put any of this into fruition,
right?
then how
But
is it going to? Well, I
there's
mean, he's not going to fix anything either.
there's going to be some things he'll be able to do, right, with regard to the police and this budget and things like that. There's other bridger things that he'll be able to do that he won't be able to do because he'll need Hochul or Trump. But
Hmm.
he's going to be able to wreak enough havoc in the city to take it down, I think.
Arby,
And
we
why didn't he
absolutely
spend?
understand. I just want to address
Yeah,
this. Arby says, I'm sorry, I can't anymore. I'm just frustrated with all of this stuff. We know. We understand.
we yeah we know. Um, why didn't he go and ask mommy and daddy for some money? How much money does he need? I mean, he didn't tell us that.
Oh,
He didn't.
it's an infinite
I,
number of amount of money. Because socialism
right. I
doesn't
mean, and not
work.
just right, but didn't he say to get started in his government? I mean, what money do you need? There's money that's built into. I didn't know that when you got elected, you had to come with your own money to start your own cabinet.
You don't.
Exactly. So
No
what's the
other
money
mayor
for?
has asked for this.
Correct. The president didn't ask for it, and no president asked for it that I'm aware of.
No,
So
how
what's the
much
money for?
how much does he make in New York? Hold on. Give me give me 2 seconds. I want to look this
So
up. How much he makes
assembly as
currently.
an assembly, they were at what? They gave themselves a raise at 134,000 or something like
Uh-huh.
that.
Hold on.
I'm holding. I'm not going nowhere. I'll take some drugs while I'm waiting for you, or I could sing some Sesame Street songs if everybody wants me to. I decided to start teaching the baby some Christmas jingles today.
142,000 a year is the average salary for the oh no, that's the salary because it's across the board. 142,000 a year.
For
And he
what?
can't afford to bring in his own
Hold.
team?
Okay, hold on.
Plus mommy and daddy money.
That's how much the mayor is?
Mm-mm. No, what he was
The
making as a
assemblyman.
state assemblyman.
Okay, was 142,000. Okay, now
Uh-huh. How much does the
how much
mayor
the
make?
mayor? Uh-huh.
Oops, hold
Ought to
on.
be in the two. I'm guessing two something.
$258,750.
Okay, and then ask it if he has to bring in his own cabinet or
Okay, hold
pay
on.
for it.
And
has
they
to
also
prove
have the option to live in Gracie Mansion, the official residence, as part of the job. And then,
Now remember, as a state assemblyman making all that much money, he lived in a rent-controlled apartment when somebody else could have had that. When he should have been paying the average of $4,000 a month in rent, he chose to live in a rent-controlled apartment.
whether a mayor pays for their transition team depends on the local government's specific funding and policies.
Okay. Well, what's
But what I'm
interesting,
thinking, the reason I was Irby, the reason I brought it up is because he could have been saving money to pay for his transition team if he had to pay for one. He could ask mommy and daddy. Yes, he has a nepo baby. He could have easily asked them for money. He don't need
well,
to be asking anything of the people.
he already picked his team. There's 5 women on it. No men, all women.
Oh,
As far as they're not as per se like a cabinet, but they're the transition team, which I believe will be aiding in the hiring of who he brings on, like the new fire chief, the new chief of police, all of that.
public
I have
says some.
Go ahead.
It says some municipalities provide public funds for transitions related to expenses like office setup and equipment, while others have little to no formal public support.
Did you put in there specifically NYC?
Yes,
Okay.
which I find funny. A transition committee.
Well,
yeah.
So do I. Did you
I'm
see their
calling
pictures?
bullshit on him. Nah, I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Oh Lord.
It appears to be there's an underrepresented group or representative group. All right, go ahead, Crazy B. Hit play.
All right, let's hit play because yeah, I can't believe how insane that is.
What's so key here, the big lesson from all of this, we talked a lot about this yesterday, I think pretty much on all 3 videos. Yeah. Mamdani represents what we call the populist left, right? The Bernie Sanders left. Note, he is not going on the campaign trail. He was not going after Republicans. He was not going after conservatives. He was not going after the right. He was going after the capitalist system itself. So this is the vertical divide versus horizontal divide that we always talk about here on this channel. Populism, fundamentally, if somebody asks, what's a populist? Had to redefine, if you had to define populism. Populism is about realigning the political divide from a horizontal divide, left versus right, Republican versus Democrat, conservative versus liberal, to a vertical divide, the people versus the political class, the ordinary American versus the oligarchs, right? But populism is pretty much just that structural realignment. Being a populist tells you very little about your actual politics. Like, are you on the right? Are you more conservative? Precisely because populism transcends those horizontal divides by realigning that horizontal divide into a vertical one. What that means for us is that if voters feel like right-wing populism that they voted for overwhelmingly back in 2024, they feel that's failed them, right? If it's like this, they will without hesitation move on over to the left, the left-wing populist. They don't care about the right-left divide. They care about defeating the establishment, the aristocratic oligarchy that they see as the single biggest threat to their lives. That's the attraction of Mamdani, ironically. That's why we talked yesterday about the rise of the Trump Mamdani voter. We now have data that shows that there were thousands of voters in New York on Tuesday that voted for Trump in
Hold on, I gotta
2024
pause
and
because
then
this
shifted
comment's
and
great.
voted for Mamdani.
I see it.
Mom dummy, Jasmine crackhead,
Mhm.
BBL for AOC. I still like Zofran. We call him Zofran.
Yeah, we can call him Zofran Mom Dummy.
Okay, Zofran mom dummy. I like that. Because we need Zofran to
Zofran.
stomach his bullshit.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I just wanted to address that. That's funny.
Arby's on a
They're
roll
not
today.
thinking in
Maybe he got.
capitalist,
Maybe Baxter
communist
gave him
terms.
his injection.
Say that one more time.
No, nothing. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm just teasing Arby. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't. I couldn't get the video to pause when you kept talking, and I couldn't hear it. Why Zofran
That's
doesn't work? He makes me nauseous.
Uh-huh. And he
What's
makes us
stronger
sick,
than
actually.
Zofran for nausea? I can't remember what's stronger.
It's it doesn't do. Zofran works better. It'll pop shortly.
Well, Arby should know too. I can't think of which
Yeah.
one was stronger than Zofran. So, all right, let's get through the last
Just
minute.
be careful we don't cause you to wreck there, JJ.
Yeah, please drive safe while we're making you laugh. Hopefully.
They're thinking in people versus a corrupt political class that's making their lives totally unaffordable. The left and the right are very fluid in this populist alignment. So what Trump and the Republicans are going to have to do, they're going to have to reinvigorate that original MAGA and MAHA populist message that resonated so successfully and powerfully with working class voters all across the nation who are overwhelmingly concerned about affordability. Republicans have largely ignored these economic anxieties for the past several months, and they've done so, as you can see, at their own peril. So ironically, single best antidote to Mamdani's socialist revolution is the very MAGA revolution that began last November, and in many ways is just getting started.
Yeah. It's going to take time. We definitely need to take our time on this. We need to get it going. We need to be smooth.
Right, but we don't have. The problem is, Crazy B, we don't have time. January is what? 6 weeks away? 7 weeks away?
7 weeks, I believe. Yeah.
7 weeks away, which means we're going to be running into primaries are going to be coming up. And then in November comes the general election. We are a year away. And as I see it, the Republicans are going to get slaughtered.
They are.
They need to get their act together.
But they
and
won't.
Again, they won't. And if they don't, see, that's why I think it's this insidious relationship going on. You win this one, we'll take that one. You do this, we'll do that. You rub my back, I'll rub your butt. You know what I mean? Like, come on. Where has anything nothing is getting done for us. There's nothing been lowered. Costs in any area have not been lowered.
It's not going to be lowered. What's going to happen is they're going to have to force the cost of living to go up, or to match it. The cost of living is going to have to be changed to match the income. I mean, they're going to have to change the income to match the cost of living. I'm saying this backwards.
Right. Yeah.
But you get the gist.
Right. But once that happens, jobs will be lost. AI will come in. There's going to be a lot of negatives associated with that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, somehow, I don't know the answer to all of this. That's why
I don't either.
I think you're right, and we need to just chuck it and
check it in the fucking bucket and try again.
And start over.
Like I said, chuck it in the fucking bucket. Yep.
Uh, yep.
Wipe the slate clean, start fresh, all new politicians, none with corruption history. I mean, I've been saying it for years, and I've always said if we have another civil war in this country, it's going to be the rich versus the poor, aka
Yeah.
government, us,
Right.
because that's pretty much where the rich people land. They meddle in the politics, so we're going to be against them. It's not going to be about race, even though they've tried making it about race since 2008. That shit ain't flying at this point. There
Right.
ain't a white person. Well,
Yeah.
there are a handful of middle-aged white women that are got their heads up their asses and think everybody's still racist. But newsflash, we're not.
No. And I'm not one of them. I know
I've
you're
had
not one of
enough. I've just had enough of people being idiots, and I think it's time that something drastic is going to have to change to balance all of this out. I don't want it to be a war, but it's bound to happen. I'm sorry, it's going to happen. Honestly, I thought
Yeah.
it was going to happen just a couple of years ago. We were
Right.
really on the brink, and I had gotten wind that there was a couple militia militia members and groups from different states. They were put on high alert, and this was a few months back. Ended up dying down, and everything went back to kind of normal, but it was very close.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why I say pay attention to your militias, because the second they make a move, you really are going to need to just prepare, hunker down, get some food, get some extra stuff piled up. State militias are our first line of defense against insane government. That's all we can do. So pay attention
Right.
to your state militias.
All right. We'll take a look at that.
All right.
Okay.
Next
All right.
up,
Okay. Is our New York Post article. This is from November the 3rd. Nearly 1 million New Yorkers ready to flee if he becomes the mayor, which we know he did. So that's another funny thing. This is just from a poll. I want all of you that claim you're going to leave to go ahead and go.
I'm sure
Put
they
your
are.
put your money where your mouth is, and let's see if they actually do it or if they're just talking out their ass. Um, Hundreds of thousands of New Yorkers are prepared to bolt from the Big Apple if Zofran wins, which he did, potentially setting the stage for the largest population flight in U.S. history. An alarming uh, new poll warn. I'm sorry, Crazy Bee. Well, give me a second. Somebody sent a nasty text across my screen.
Oh,
Whoever did that, I'll tell you later. That was totally unacceptable. Anyway, uh, that just caught me off
threw you
guard.
off.
Yeah, an alarming new poll warned early on Monday. About 765,000 people of the 8.4 million residents who call New York City home are preparing to, I can't see the end there, flee, with about 9% of New Yorkers sharing that they would definitely leave the city if he is elected, the Daily Mail reported. So they have 8.4 million residents. Wow,
Yes.
that's a lot of people.
Yes, it is.
So, okay, go ahead, scroll down. Uh, if those residents were to leave, it would be equal to the population of Washington, D.C., Las Vegas, and Seattle fleeing the city. Another 25% of New Yorkers, about 2.12 million, said they would consider packing up and leaving. Among high earners, 7% of those making over $250,000 a year said they would definitely flee. Heck
Yeah, because
yeah,
they're
if
going to
they're
get
going to
taxed
lose
out the fucking nose.
I mean, they're going to have less than $154,000 in money, in cash.
Yep.
Uh, Poll results highlighted widespread unease among the 34-year-old assemblymen taking over City Hall, warning that a mass departure could have serious economic consequences nationwide. If anywhere near the number actually left, the economic impact would be seismic. Pollster James Johnson told the outlet. Older New Yorkers, Staten Islanders, and white voters are the most likely that would pack up and go.
Can you blame them?
Well, and just so you know, in reference to the white voters, he has called out white people. And again, Zofran, you're racist,
Uh-huh.
stating that he was actually going to go after the white people that were
The
wealthy
richer
to tax.
white neighborhoods.
Correct. So obviously people voted on the second. You morons voted him in. When asked to sum up what Mandami's New York would look like, respondents called it a disaster how, and cover your ears, kid, a shithole, he added. Men were more likely than women to say they'd leave. 12% of men and 7% of women say they would move, with roughly a quarter of each group considering it. Voters aged 50 to 64 showed the strongest desire to flee, with 12% certain and 33% weighing a move, according to the poll. By race, 13% of white New Yorkers and 11% of Asian residents say they would definitely leave. Staten Island voters led the stampede, with 21% saying they would go, and another 54% considering it. Manhattan, I can't see that on the edge. Considering it, I'm assuming. Manhattan, 6% said they'd flee and 20% are unsure. In Brooklyn, it's 8% and 18%. The Carolinas, Florida, and Tennessee has emerged as top escape destinations thanks to lower taxes and property taxes. See, now, isn't that something that now they're going to go to the Carolinas and Tennessee? See what
Uh-huh.
I'm talking? See what I'm talking about, Crazy B? It all seems kind of
But
fishy
let
to
me tell
me.
you something about Tennessee. If you want to talk about low taxes, they do tax their food there.
Uh-huh.
I live less than 10 minutes from the state line, and I'm not joking when I say I don't buy food. And I'm not talking fast food, I'm talking grocery store food is taxed. Not just the
Well, there.
bakery stuff where it's already heated. No, I'm talking your cereal. Every bit of food in Tennessee is taxed. It's 11.7%, I believe.
Well, see, Arkansas did the same thing, and the reason they do that is that's how they eliminated property taxes,
Mm-hmm.
some of the gas taxes.
Yep, is by
That way,
taxing the food.
correct, and other items. That way, and I'm all for that because in my mind, then everybody pays. Everybody,
It's an
including
across the board
illegal.
sale tax of
Correct.
11.7% in Tennessee.
Okay, so that means even illegals that live there have to pay that same cost.
Yep.
If you're on the lower income status, obviously that could be a heavy burden for you, but the taxes are equally distributed amongst everybody. So
Yes.
consider that where they say the property tax is lower, perhaps your rent in Tennessee is lower than it is in Kentucky. I don't know
No,
that for a fact,
it's
but
not. It's actually a little bit
uh,
higher in some places. Most
yeah,
places,
like
actually.
yeah, it depends on the areas, obviously, but that across the state sales tax permits property taxes, school taxes, and sometimes gas taxes to be
To be
lowered.
lower. Yep.
Uh, there's pros and cons to both ways. If you take a look at Arkansas, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, who was Trump's press secretary, she became governor of Arkansas. She followed in her father's footsteps there. She
Mm-hmm.
went to the sales tax, and apparently that has become extremely successful. That she's been able to bring new businesses and jobs into the state. So
Yep.
go figure. Yeah. All right, at least 1.9 million voters are expected to vote. Blah 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 blah. All right, keep scrolling up there, Crazy B. It's all stuff we know.
And that's it.
And yep, and that article will be in the description below.
Yep. Next up is another one that basically sums it up, saying that this one, I don't know how that ended up in there. It shouldn't have been. It's already said and done and
Okay.
all that. But I'll
Maybe
throw it in for you
okay.
guys.
All right, so it's titled the New York NYC Mayoral Election Updates from Mandami, Cuomo, Sliwell, video, and who leads. And that's from that was from the Al Jazeera.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons for this is it's very fascinating, and we've talked about this previously as well, where these foreign newsrooms, newspapers are doing the jobs of what the mainstream media in the United States should be doing.
Well, Al Jazeera is kind of a propagandist newspaper
It is.
for Iran, I believe it is. But it does still have a take that's worth looking at, even if it is propagandized.
It is from, I don't think it's Iran, is it? I thought it was from, you know,
one of the I countries in the Middle East.
Yeah, I thought it was Saudi Arabia. I don't know right now. My head hurts.
Iraq. One of those. Yeah.
One of those.
They're very biased in their own area, not so biased in the external areas, it seems.
Yes. But they have some good articles.
Qatar. Thank you, Arby.
Thank you. Isn't that the Saudi Arabias?
Yes, it is. I was wrong. I thought it was one of the I's. Okay.
But Al Jazeera, Sky News, there's a couple others that we take a look at that we'd like to just pop their information in there so that you can see what other countries are saying, whether it's propaganda or not, whether they lean left or lean right, and we try not to persuade you one way or another that here's a left-leaning article from this place.
With the exception of don't vote for Mamdani. We took a hard stance on that one.
Exactly. And that could be the way it is in the future, depending on who runs. But, you know, we want you to use your head and or your own thought process as we give you this information. You know, are they just blowing smoke up our butt? Where'd they get this? Let me go take a look at it, whatever. So I've been finding it more and more fascinating that these outlets from other countries have been more spot on than our own mainstream media is. So take a look at this one. This is, as I said, is from Al Jazeera.
We're going to go ahead and take a small sidestep, and then we'll come back to the election stuff. This was ICE recruiters have been, I guess, ICE recruited people without background checks and a few other things. So it's just a quick 3-minute video, but I wanted to kind of break it up, give everyone a little minute to digest what has been going on with the New York City crap. And then we have a couple articles with the claims of fraud and stuff. So let's listen to how ICE has dropped the ball.
Welcome back now to an NBC News exclusive and new questions about
we understand,
who will be
Arby.
carrying out the Trump administration's immigration crackdown. One current and 2 former Homeland Security officials tell NBC News that some new ICE recruits have showed up to training without being fully vetted. The officials telling NBC News the recruits were placed in ICE's training program before the agency determined that they had either failed drug tests, had disqualifying criminal backgrounds, or had not met the physical or academic requirements to serve.
Who cares?
Now,
we let in how many
rushes to hire officers to carry out President Trump's mass deportation policy. NBC News senior Homeland Security correspondent Julia Ainsley helped break that story. She joins me now. Congratulations on this scoop, Julia. Thank you for breaking it here. So just how many ICE agents are we talking about who could fit into this unqualified category?
Well, according to some data that was compiled very recently internally at ICE, there were over 200 new recruits who showed up for training. That's supposed to be after they've gone through a security vetting, fingerprints, drug test. attested that they can do the physical portion of the training. They've showed up and they haven't been able to meet those requirements. In some cases, I'm told they show up and they volunteer the fact that, no, I never did submit fingerprints, or no, I never did do a drug test. And so trainers are having to pull people off the base there in Georgia and take them out to go get these things done. So the real concern is who might not be admitting that and who might be slipping through the cracks.
So, Julia, why is this happening? Is it because there's a rush to get people through? Is it because they're not being careful enough? What's the best explanation?
Oh my
When I talk to
God.
former
I can't
officials who
stand
know
it.
the way this process
Crazy Bee
Which
just
part?
smacked me. All of it. I just can't stand it. I mean, I
They're a
didn't think the
federal
reason.
employee. They need to pass the same standards that even the postal workers and every other federal employee goes through.
I'm not saying that they don't, but I mean, please, Christian Walker, where were these tough questions when Zofran was running?
Biden,
Nobody did. Yeah,
Kamala.
Biden. Yeah. You didn't ask any of these questions? Come on.
None of them did.
Girl, get. Oh.
Yeah, I know. The double standards are absolutely insane.
And it's so apparent.
I
I
know.
mean, I'm not as HR, I'm like, this is outrageous. If this is true, because I don't believe jack shit. Because I could see one or through the cracks, but now that the chick that broke the story is saying all this stuff, it's hard to believe. Some of this
Yeah.
shit sounds made up, but I could see a couple, but not 200. No way. Nope,
It's hard to
not. I
say
can't
also
find.
where they were training from, what center, what recruitment center.
Well, she said Georgia. She said Georgia.
Georgia?
Yeah.
Was it like from Atlanta? Was it from a different area? Because Atlanta would make sense.
Uh-huh.
They're going to
Ridiculous.
send in the worst to try and throw it off.
Uh-huh.
But let's.
They didn't
There's
see
only about.
fingerprint.
Go ahead.
Fingerprints. I find that so hard to believe. So hard.
I know. I know. It's messed up.
And if it did happen, whoever let it happen needs to be fired.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this type of stuff is an absolute no-no.
Some people
But-
dropped the ball, and now there's going to be hell to pay.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
this used to
Let her
work in the past.
continue. Let's see.
I was gonna say we'll suffer through the rest of this. It's only got about another minute or minute and a half.
Supper is right.
It was pretty slow going and really used to drive a lot of people crazy because it could take up to a year before they were fully vetted and put out into training and then out into the field. Now it can be as short as 2 weeks. Sometimes it's not exactly clear what needs to happen, but they report to a field office.
Okay,
and if
so
they
there
have
we
no
go right
prior law
there
enforcement
again.
experience.
Uh-huh.
It's not exactly clear, which means she knows jack shit.
Yeah.
Because it's not exactly clear.
And if it wasn't clear, that means she was not in the loop, was not told anything for fact.
Right.
It's unclear. It's not clear.
Correct.
Not clear means I'm full of shit and I'm coming at you with suspicions. Maybe there's some facts to this. Maybe the numbers are exaggerated. There's too many maybes. Nothing factual. Solid fact. And again, that we can expect more of this. And this really took off when Obama got rid of that frickin' law about the media not being allowed to use propaganda on its own citizens.
Correct. And that's what they're doing. And people don't realize that that's what's being done.
Every media, TikTok, social, anything is more than likely propaganda, which is why we're here calling it out and why we are suppressed greatly on YouTube.
Right.
Except one or two videos that really piss off the left. Yeah, we're being. It's funny that they got that, and I love it. Let the trolls have it. So, yeah, the joys of propaganda in the United States. People don't even know it.
Yes, and trolls, we just love you too.
We're just not going to give you the attention you deserve. Well, you don't deserve. Yeah, you're just
Or
not
that
going to get
you
it.
right. Unless you warrant a real discussion.
Which we did have one in the but never replied, despite what I had to say. But it
Right.
happens. It could be days or weeks. I don't always get notified when people like or comment back to me on something I commented on. So
Right. All right, go
They're
ahead.
sent to this training. But before they even go to that field office, they're supposed to come in with HR having checked all these boxes. In a lot of cases, that's just not happening. Part of it is, I've told the HR office just hasn't gotten the resources that they need to be able to match this huge demand to hire 10,000 new officers by the end of the year. And I'm told, Kristen, they're less than halfway to fulfilling that goal.
Wow. Well, I know you'll continue to
Hey.
stay on top of that. In the meantime, we saw these ICE operations ramp up in New York and Los Angeles. What are you watching there?
Yeah, that's right. Obviously, we want more details, especially in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
There's a man named Richard LA on TikTok who has been following ICE officers and their movements around Los Angeles. And he was actually targeted by immigration officers and U.S. Marshals just yesterday in Los Angeles. They boxed in his car, and we understand he started ramming the other vehicles. Then an ICE agent fired a gun. It's not clear if that was a mistake or...
we do have something on that. Whether we get to it today or not, probably not, but that's what next week is for. There was something about that shootout between U.S. Marshals or immigration or whatever it was and a TikToker. And again, they wouldn't be doing this if there wasn't a threat. If they felt that their safety wasn't at risk, they wouldn't have gone after the guy. He had to have done something to trigger it. This is again where half the story. What about the other side's story?
Right.
So, yeah.
And the other comment I want to make too is where she made the statement that it could take up to a year for vetting. That's bullshit.
It shouldn't.
I'm going to say it max would be 6 months. And if I'm working on a candidate that long, that's usually a red flag that something is amiss.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and again, they're trying to push 10,000 people through, but it's not just one office that's dealing with them. There are branches.
Exactly.
And each branch has its own HR thing. This is not just they're all hiring through one office in the United States.
Right.
Which makes me say, someone's not doing something they're supposed to.
Right. And someone be lying.
Yep.
Or what was the reason for the gun firing? That's the key piece here. But we understand that this man was shot in the elbow. He remains in the hospital in serious condition, and that a bullet ricocheted, hit the hand of a U.S. Marshal, and that he definitely went to the hospital as well, but he is in stable condition.
Wow. Okay. Julia Ainsley, thank you so much for all of your great reporting. As always,
Kristen.
really
So now they want to take it serious about the dangers and when ICE has to do this stuff. They didn't give two fucks when ICE was arresting the criminals. It's only when somebody gets shot and it ricochets off of somebody else and it goes into a third person. Yeah, something isn't right. Why is this when they're concerned? And again, what was that TikToker doing that the ICE felt they had to box him in? What was he doing? Because he sure as hell wasn't just standing there quietly. There had to have been something more.
My lie detector meter saying she's lying.
Yeah, the bullshit detectors in Bright Red.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lying. This is
Lying
a made-up
is an
story.
understatement.
This is a made-up story.
Well, someone did get shot. Someone actually,
yes,
that shooting thing did happen, but
right.
Oh, you're talking the HR thing with the info.
The whole story here.
Yeah. Yep.
They should have just reported a shooting instead of embellishing.
Yeah, and and you know why they did this? They wanted to make it sound like more ICE people aren't actually thoroughly vetted, and that it's somehow that lack of vetting is connected to the shooting thing.
Right.
They absolutely want your brain to connect those dots.
Right.
So we shall see how that turns out. Like I said, I think there's a little bit more on it that we have in the list for next week.
Okay.
Next up we have, oh yeah, the fake ballot thing. Why did that go all the way down?
Okay.
Um,
I don't know.
there we are.
Hey, there we go. Fact focus. New York City ballots do not show proof of election fraud. This is from November the 4th. For many years, New York voters have found candidates listed twice, 3 times, or even more on their ballots when they go to the polling booth. It isn't an error, it's a practice known as fusion voting that allows candidates to appear under multiple political parties. But such intentional duplications on the New York City ballot this year, along with other layout choices, have some outside observers around the country wondering whether they are seeing evidence of rigged voting in Tuesday's widely watched mayoral election. Billionaire ex-owner Elon Musk, who briefly served as a top advisor to President Trump, was among those criticizing the ballots. The New York City ballot form is a scam, he wrote in an X post. No ID is required. Other mayoral candidates appear twice. Cuomo's name is last in the bottom right. I will agree, we need voter ID. The fact
Amen.
we have no idea who voted in this election. How would we even know if you were legal or not
And
illegal?
that's why I don't agree with how New York runs their elections, and I don't want to live there.
Right. But there is nothing amiss about the ballots, which are in keeping with New York's voting laws. And here's a closer look at those facts. Plain. New York City ballots are proof of election fraud because some candidates appear twice and former Governor Andrew Cuomo is listed low in that order. But here's the facts. This is false. Candidates may appear more than once on the ballots in New York City if they are nominated by multiple political parties, a practice called fusion voting. Cuomo is in the 8th spot because he filed to run as an independent later in the process. That has to be the most ridiculous thing I've
Yep.
ever heard of.
Oh, I know.
You know,
I'm calling
I
bullshit.
mean, what? We have 10 different places that nominate you and you get to appear 10 times because of that?
It's bullshit.
I mean, you have the 3 people you vote for. Mandami, Cuomo, or Sliwa. And that's who you pick. You don't gotta,
You don't
you
got to
have to get on.
associate which party you are voting for to do that, because if you were registered as a voter with voter ID, oh, yeah, it's all good.
Mhm. Magic. New York, along with Connecticut, is one of the few states with fusion voting, which is legal and commonly used. The practice has existed in New York since at least the mid 20th century. It is also legal in Oregon, Vermont, and Mississippi. This occurs pretty frequently, and it enables the Democratic candidate to get the votes of people who normally don't vote for Democrats and Republicans to get the vote of people who don't vote Republican, etc., said Richard Briefault, an expert on election administration and a professor at Columbia Law University, said of fusion voting in New York.
That was the
Two
most
mayoral
confusing statement, though.
Tell me about it. 2 mayoral candidates appear twice this year on New York City ballots. Democrat nominee Zoe Fran is also the nominee of the Working Families Party, while Republican nominee Curtis Sliwa is also the candidate for the Independent Protect Animals Party. Oh,
I
it
don't
can't.
even
It
want to
it just.
know.
It, I seriously. Fusion voting does not allow candidates to receive more than one vote from the same voter, as voters may only vote for a candidate under one party. Oh, Cuomo
Uh-huh.
is a Democrat. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, read that 5 times. Cuomo is a Democrat, but is running as an independent under a new party he created called Fight and Deliver after losing the Democrat primary to Mandami in June. Under state law, there are currently 4 official parties on the ballot in New York: Democrat, Republican, Conservative, and Working Families Party, based on the number of votes their candidates received in the most recent gubernatorial and presidential elections. That vote count also determines the order they appear on the next ballot from highest to lowest. Candidates must file a petition to run as an independent. Boards of elections determine the ballot order of independent parties, which must appear below the official parties. Mhm.
Whoops.
The- In the case of the New York City Board of Elections, this is determined by the date and timestamp when the independent nominating petition was filed with that board, said Kathleen McGrath, a spokesperson for the New York State Board of Elections. According to McGrath, Cuomo's Fight and Deliver party was the fourth of the 5 independent parties to submit a nominating petition, meaning that Cuomo is listed 8th on the ballot. Zofran is listed first under the Democratic Party and 4th under the Working Families Party. Lewa appears second under the Republican Party and 5th under the Protect Animals Party. 2 other candidates running as incumbent Mayor Eric Adams and attorney Jim Walden dropped out of the race too late to be taken off the ballot. So their names appeared there to make confusion even more. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, wonder if that was deliberate too. In
I wouldn't
short,
doubt it.
Cuomo is only listed once because he was only nominated once, and he is low in the order because no recognized political party nominated him, said Mark Lindman, Policy and Strategic Director at Verified Voting. Surely Elon Musk has people who could have looked this up for him. New York City does not require voters to get ID to vote unless they did not provide identification with their registration. The nation's multi-layer election processes provide many safeguards to keep voter fraud, fraud generally detectable when rare, the AP has reported.
Yeah.
Representatives for Musk did not respond to a request for comment. Oh, that
The
makes me
way
feel
that wording, the entire article, made my brain do somersaults.
uh-huh.
It hurts.
And I'm leaving Friday with a laugh.
Hmm.
Really? I mean, it's rare and I don't know what to say. I really don't. It's so
I
funny.
don't either. It's
I mean,
absolutely insane.
you, you people are stupid. I'm sorry.
They are.
Uh, uh, I just can't wait for the videos to be coming out in the next week or two with the cars that pull up with, the boxes of ballots and stuff that they're just gonna throw away in the trash and
Oh,
uh
yeah.
oh, there's no fraud here. Keep moving, nothing to see. Move along, move along.
Yep, keep moving. What are you talking
Oh my,
about? Just keep moving.
that's so funny. I don't know why that just strikes me as hysterical. It really does.
Uh,
This yeah. And
it's a
whoever wrote
mess.
the yeah.
Oops. It's just a mess. So,
You have That's interesting because there's fusion voting, and then wasn't it fusion GPS that was the with Trump's first go round? Was that Hunter Biden's business or what was fusion GPS?
I don't remember. I know something else with I know a few things with the word fusion thrown in that are from there, but yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not really sure.
that's funny. Oh, fudge. All right, what time? Oh, we're after 5, and
Yep,
I
I'm
did ask.
dropping links in this descriptions
Okay,
right now, so it's
okay.
already ready,
All right. We
and we
wanted to
should be
end the
good to
show
go.
with we wanted to end the show with that one thing. You
Which one
remember?
thing? Not really.
The one, yeah, the one thing that you started it with?
No, that was yesterday.
No, 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 no. Today.
We started with the next
What?
post today.
Oh, was that yesterday?
Yes, it was yesterday.
I don't remember. You don't by chance have it, do you?
Yes, I do. Give me a few
Oh, you.
seconds and I will have it pulled up.
Oh, that you're so good.
I try to be. And a funny for the day. Let me hold on, I gotta turn back on OBS so they can see it. There we go. Let's watch this one more time.
You must eat all of your food, children. You must eat all of your foods. There are hungry children starving in America.
Yep.
He really doesn't look like she gives a shit.
Oh, I know. But did our parents really look like they gave a shit when they told us the same line?
I was more afraid of them than anything, so I don't know what to tell you.
I
You
just
know,
knew
it's
not to
like,
do better because I would have got my ass whooped, but that is what it is.
yeah, we did stupid stuff as kids. I'll never forget, my mother served lima beans and we weren't eating them. And what did us kids do? We put them all back in the pot. And so when she came in, she's like, "What the hell is this?" We're like,
Whoop the
"We don't
tar out
know."
of everybody.
He's like, "Yeah, no, we had to eat the lima beans." But the
I like
best was,
lima beans, but I'm a weirdo.
well, I like them now, but not as a little kid, I didn't. And then as a little kid, my great aunt ran a huge rooming board uh, house that was for men only. And so she had this huge dining hall, and then there was her kitchen and a bathroom that was off this kitchen area. So us kids were seated at a table. So the four of and she had served pickled beets with dinner. I don't remember anything else except the pickled beets.
Oh,
And
gross.
my mother came out and said that we had to eat them. And
Oh,
so
boo.
I went in and asked for some napkins, and I took all of our pickled beets that we had, and I went out. There were two doors, one that went from the dining room into the hall, and then one from the kitchen into the hall. So I went out the dining room doorway over to the bathroom, and I flushed the beets down the toilet. Luckily, nothing got clogged, but
Oh, God.
we were not eating the beets, let me tell you. We were not eating the beets. So luckily the bathroom was there, but that was pretty funny. So
Um,
that's
JJ said he made it to work. Thanks for going a little longer.
good.
And he also has so far the scoreboard for D's butts versus Crazy B's asses.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh,
Uh
it's a 2-1. You say
uh-oh.
butt twice for every one that I say every time I say ass.
There you go. Oh, that's funny.
Oh,
Oh, but that's it.
I think
We're gonna try to,
yep,
yeah,
we
we're gonna try
survived.
to we're gonna try to. It's been a rough week. Crazy
Oh,
bee.
oh, sorry, I
Did we
forgot
get
to share. Oh, you're still sharing the chat. Sorry.
okay. All right.
Since we're done with the other stuff, I wanted to no, I'm still here. I just wanted to make sure you could still see
Okay.
the chat while I'm closing out the
Okay.
other stuff.
So everybody, thank you for joining Rex Sisters. Please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. We appreciate your support. We're going to drop a video, a pre record on Monday We will be back live on Tuesday at 7 p.m. with what we don't know what quite yet. We have an idea, but it depends on
It's
what
working and
happens
what
over
happens over the
the
week. Of
Yeah.
course, we're thinking the same.
It all depends on what is popping. And other than that, I'm sick, I'm tired, my head hurts, my eyes hurt, and I'm worn out.
I think we've all had a day. I think we're done. If
Yeah.
this rain's killing me,
Yep,
I am done for the day.
I hear you. So everybody have a great weekend. Again, thank you for joining us, and we will see you on the pre-records Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back live on Tuesday at 7 p.m. Standard Time. And by the way, anybody that's in the chat or still around, or if you're not, please let us know if you're enjoying the pre-records or not. You can post it in the comments, in the chat, or up on the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord, please do so. That's a great resource as well for information. But we'd like to know if this is worth our while. It takes us additional time to get through the pre-records as well. We have enough of them to cover through the end of the year. And by the way, I'll I might as well say this now, Crazy B, and we'll keep repeating it. But Crazy B and I will be off Thanksgiving and the day after Thanksgiving, with a pre-record dropping that Monday, and then we'll return back on Tuesday evening. And then we are going to take a Christmas vacation / work time, which I
Yep.
think will end up being more work than it will be vacation. But we're going to try to squeeze in a little bit of time off for friends and family, plus try to get some things done in the studio. So, real quick, I will let you know that we are going to be off on.
I thought
If
you
I can
said
get
from Christmas Eve straight through till beginning of
not
January.
the day, no, not Christmas Eve. So that would be the 23rd. From the
Okay, the
23rd
23rd.
to January 5th. That, which Monday I believe is the air. We're almost done, hon. Okay, so yeah, so Tuesday, December 23rd from 7 to 9 p.m. will be our last day live, and we will return on Monday, January the 5th, but that will be a pre-record, and then we'll be back live on January the 6th at 7 p.m.
Yep.
So we're hoping to get a lot accomplished. Hopefully the studio and everything, all the kinks and all that will be knocked out, but
Smoothed out.
there you go. Smoothed out would be a better word, I guess. But I'm ready to kick them out, as you know, so because I've had it with them.
I absolutely understand.
So we did hear, as I said earlier in the broadcast, we did hear back from Evmux. Crazy B and I just have some work to do over the weekend to get them the answers that they need.
The fact is they could have just said, our program doesn't play well with iPhones or Apple products.
Right. So,
That
all
was the
right, I'm out.
summary.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I'll
out.
tell y'all to stay safe, stay sane, stay sober. Look for the cute little hidden object, item, picture thing I always try to put up. Today I remembered to. So we'll catch y'all on the next one.
All right, good night.